Hello, happy Monday. It feels like Monday. So if you're watching, hello, say hi on Facebook, say replay if you're catching the replay. Our keyword is Monday for all the things. If you're watching on Instagram, I cannot see your comments once we are done. So you can either hop over to my Facebook, or once this becomes a reel on my page, you can comment on that. So if you catch the replay on Instagram, you can comment on that and I can see that. So anyway, that's how all this works. Curled my hair for the first time in a while. I haven't done this much. I used to when my hair was like longer down to here, which is where I'm trying to go. I curled it all the time and I've just been wearing it straight all the time lately. So kind of liking the curl again. All right, so our question of the day is, can mature skin wear powder foundation? And yes, it can. So I'm going to show you how that works. So we are going to start with primer, because we always start with primer. Oh, I was going to put that back where the brush goes. That's not where that goes. All right. So what did you do over the weekend? Did you do anything fun? We had a birthday party where we got to see a bunch of friends. That was so nice. And just hang out, watch the Stars lose. Ugh. They play tonight, yay. So hopefully we will win. I'm getting really irritated at that. I watched the draft some, and then we played Fowling. Have you heard of Fowling? Fowling, F-O-W-L-I-N-G. Never heard of it before in my life, but played Fowling with some friends, which Fowling is when bowling meets a football. I know. I couldn't imagine how it was going to work. So the way it works is set up a lot like cornhole, right? Where you've got stuff on one end and players and stuff on the other end and players, and you're throwing, you're throwing and then you're getting the ball and then you're throwing back this way and all of that. So you're on teams like that. But there's actual bowling pins all set up, and your goal is to knock over the bowling pins with a football. Okay, I'd never thrown a football before, and now I know why. Because apparently I cannot throw a football. They even gave like me and the other girl like a forward line to stand on, so we were a little closer, right, than where the guys were throwing from. And then the other family we were with, their son was there, and he's almost 18, and his throws were like rocket arms. I was like, good heavens, how do you throw that hard? Like, he just zipped them, and I mean, they hurt like if you're trying to defend. I was like, this is just unreal. So it was a really interesting experience. Everyone was not pressuring, being that I couldn't throw a ball to save my soul. And we rotated who was playing. So there were 5 of us, and you really played 2 and 2. So we rotated out one person after each game. So, you weren't punished being stuck with me the whole time. Because I'm not a very good partner in Fowling, apparently. But I would do it again. It was fun. They served drinks. So had a little cocktail, had a little chat. And then us girls sort of sat out for like the last half of the thing. I was like, you boys have fun with that. So what I love about our powder foundation is it is not, it's not powdery. It's infused with skincare. So it has shea butter in it. So it is really hydrating. And, I think of powder foundation oftentimes to sort of be cakey. This is not cakey. It builds to a very full coverage. It's actually touted as one of our most full coverage foundations, which, anything you can build, you can always just build. But, I don't know if you can tell, but it covered all my redness. It covered, just really evened me out. So I use 2 different shades. I use my normal shade, like all on the outside. Then I come back in with a lighter shade, use that kind of in the center, like a concealer under my eyes, nose, down, kind of my T-zone area, right? And that just sort of levels me all out. So I love that about our foundation. I do not need a setting powder on top of this, right? Because this in and of itself has enough of that. And it will actually be a little It's just going to help plump your skin throughout the day. It's just so fabulous. So that is the answer to my question. Can you wear powder foundation? My last live, I was live from a hotel room, and I learned a lot about that. I'm normally live here from my study, right, where I have my makeup station set up, and you see me all the time with this background and all the things. And we had gone out of town for the birthday party, and so we were in a hotel room, and I've never done a live from a hotel room, so I didn't know like what phone stand I needed or anything. And so my rig was quite industrious of me, let me just say. So I took a phone stand that doesn't have any adjustability because it's really compact, and I thought, oh, this will be perfect, right? Well, it only stands like, if this is the counter, it only stands like this tall. So when I first set it up, I'm like, and there's no chair in the bathroom, so I'm standing the whole time, and I'm just thinking, okay, this thing is going to look at my nose the whole time, and I can't have that, right? I can't have it looking at my nose. So I turned over this little tray thing they have in the bathroom, and then I put the tissue holder on top of it, and those are all wooden, right? And I tried to like balance the thing. It balanced well, but it was still a little too low. So this is horrible of me. But you know, in the nightstands, the Gideons leave the Bibles and things. So there was a Bible, and I was like, oh, that might just give me the oomph I need. So I put the Bibles underneath the Kleenex box, set that on top, and then set me on top of that. So now I know which one to bring and which one to leave, right? Because that just did not work out well at all for me. And the lighting was horrible. And then later, because there was nothing in front of the window, and I was like, I don't have anything to set anything on. And I go out, and I'm putting on shoes to leave, and I'm like, oh shoot, that thing, the ice, like the bucket that you do ice with, has wheels under it. And I was like, I could have rolled that to the window and then used like one of the chairs in the room to sit down. Like, oh, you know, you learn all the things. But what also is funny is my husband was in the other room, and so he was listening to me. He said, you sure do use the word all the things a lot. And I never really realized I did that. I mean, I don't typically watch my lives back. You know, I'll watch the very beginning where I go, hi, happy Monday, when I'm putting them up on my YouTube channel or whatever. But I don't like sit and watch my entire live back. So I didn't know I said it that often. Guess I do. Sometimes it's good to have your husband in the other room. All right, I'm gonna try a combination on my eyes today that I've never tried before. So we're gonna see how good or disastrous this turns out to be together. Isn't that fun? Love experimenting with new things on a live video, but it's either that or I do my makeup twice in a day. So we're just gonna see how this is gonna work out. Yes, my cat is whining at me. What do you want? Well, come lay down. You're fine, come lay down. I interrupted his nap by putting up my screen, and then he got mad at me. And he's old. Kind of getting worried about him. He will be 14 in July, or end of June, I guess was his actual birthday. And we found him in my husband's car in 2011. It was hot, 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 and had been in the hundreds for like a week. And animals will live inside like a car engine that's been off because it's cool, right? Because it's not they're not in the sun or whatever. And for 2 days, Darren had seen him, and he just looked pathetic. Tiny, tiny, tiny. I could pick him up under all 4 paws with just my hand. He was that little. So when I took him to the vet, you know, to say I found a stray cat and I might keep it, I don't know, but like it's been living outside, right? And so the way I got it inside is I went out with some cat food and I just drizzled some on the sidewalk, and he was like, Zoom! He was hungry. So we brought him inside, and I had a cat at the time, and I didn't want to intermingle them because I didn't know what ickies he had from the outside, right? So we had a laundry room that was just tiny and perfect. And so I just put newspaper all on the bottom, put him in there, put him down food, water. I put kind of a litter box, like in a box lid. That didn't go over very well, but you know, it had newspaper everywhere, so whatever. And when I took him to the vet to find out, like, first of all, when I called, they're like, is it a boy or a girl? I'm like, that's for y'all to figure out. I don't know. I just picking him up. They said that they thought he was like 2 to 3 weeks old. They wouldn't spay him, neuter him, whatever you do to a boy, whatever. They wouldn't do that yet. And they didn't want me to have him around my other cat. So for like 2 weeks, we would like put him in a bathroom. Then we would put my other cat upstairs or somewhere and then bring him out to play and all the things. And then after he got neutered and spayed and all the shots and all the things, we were able to integrate them together. But how many years ago was that? 14, right? All my other cats are gone now. I just got him left. And I don't know how much longer he's going to live. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not putting him down or anything, but he's getting really whiny with me. And I don't know if that's because he doesn't feel good or what. And I'm scared to make a vet appointment because I'm scared they're going to say end of life and we're done. So I don't know. What would you do? So I'm just holding on, hoping that he's really not hurting. So I'm going to take my favorite palette that I use all the time, and I'm going to combine some of the brown shades, and I'm going to use a shadow stick. And I've never really used our shadow sticks, but they are crease proof. They have primer in them. They are water resistant. So a great option for the summer. So I'm going to start to try to incorporate some more of those. You know, if you want something on your eyelid, not just mascara, and you're out at the pool or whatever, you know, it's not really about pool water that I'm concerned about because I don't frankly go under in the pool. But, you know, the sweat that gets in your eyes and all of that, you know, you don't want to just rub that away and then everything's like, wow, okay, fun. So I typically in the past have not used an eyeshadow because I don't need more going on than my mascara. But since these are water resistant, we're going to start to play with them and see what we can do. We have a ton of colors. I'm just going to use this pretty copper shade on my lid today. They have everything from like a baby pink and a baby blue to greens to plums to all sorts of things, and then all these neutrals. So I have a handful. I don't have all of them. So we're just going to start incorporating ones here and there and see what we can do. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to put my kind of base in my crease. And I'm going to reserve the lid for this stick shadow. So we're just going to get this. You can just use this all by itself, but if you already have this palette or if you've been wanting to try this palette, it's such a great way to just incorporate a couple of different depths where you're not just having a one color on your lid. Now, you could certainly do just one color if you're wanting just a monochromatic, like I don't have a lot on look, but I always like to show you how you can kind of amp it up a little bit. All right, so we've got that on. I'm doing my hooded eye trick where I look without my eye closed and see if I can see that color. Because I just want it right above where my hooded eye drops. All right, we got that. Now I'm gonna come in with this deeper color. So I'm basically doing what I would normally do. I need that air conditioner to really kick in. It is hot in here. Welcome to summer. All right, so outer corner. So I'm just leaving this whole inner side for this shadow stick, which is like a shimmer color. So I want to use it on the lid. You don't ever use a shadow, a shimmer color in the crease if you have hooded eyes, because you'll end up just having it everywhere. So I love the idea of using it just on the lid. And then I've been doing this trick with the darker color of just a subtle eyeliner, and I just feel like underneath, I just feel like it adds that little smokiness-ish without being smoky. All right, and then lastly, I want to use this bone color up here and blend. Now, if I wasn't using a shadow stick, I would have taken my crease color and come all the way down into, or I would have used this bone color all the way into. I'm going to use it right here in the inner corner. But then we're going to come in with the shadow stick. So they're great because they just twist up as you need product, and you just swipe it on. You can either blend it with like a sponge or your finger. So I'm going to try just putting it. Oh, how pretty. You see that? That is gorgeous. And by putting those down first, I don't really feel like I need to blend anything. That's beautiful. Why don't I use these more often? All right. I'm going to compile some options. This is too pretty. I mean, just look at that pop, highly pigmented. That is gorgeous. It goes so well with those palette colors. Wow, I'm a fan. Okay, so our promotion right now with any 3 items off my storefront is a lip stain. So I'll show you that today as we get there. I just hadn't mentioned that yet, by the way. All right, I am going to come in with a little eyeliner on top. I feel like this look needs a little eyeliner on top. And I get my eyeliner and my brow gel from Eternal, and just message me and I'll get you the link to that, or I'll leave it in my stories afterwards. But both are infused with skincare, so they're growing your lashes while you're using them. It's what's filled in my brows so well. I look at past pictures and I just am amazed. And then this is gonna help on my lashes while I'm using it. It's got a felt tip. And it is the inkiest black. So I'm just putting that along my lash line. Real gentle little line. But do you see the definition that gives my lashes? I love it. I struggle on this eye. Okay, that doesn't look bad. Definitely not as smooth of a line, but we all got to start somewhere. I think practice makes just gonna make perfect. Then by using my Quadra, I'm also nourishing my lashes, infused with primer, infused with not skincare. What am I? It's infused with serum to help grow my lashes while I'm wearing it. It is also water resistant, and because it's tubing, it comes off real easily. You don't have raccoon eyes. I like that in the summer because, you know, if sweat gets down into my eyes and I rub something, I'm just going to rub a tube off. I'm not going to end up with this raccoon eyes that you do with the normal mascara. So these sticks combined with this mascara might be a great go-to this summer. I'm really anxious to see how I can use some of the other colors. Integrate those together maybe. Also like playing with some palettes that you may already have, right? And just seeing how a little combination can take that palette just one step further. So we're gonna watch the Stars game tonight. We're going to hope, one, it does not go to OT. It's been killing me. Plus we've been the late game, meaning we don't start until 8:30 Central. So on a good night, we're gonna end, 10:30, 11, if we end in regulation. And they don't do those short little 5-minute overtime thingies like they do in the regular season. They go full periods. So one game, I finally was like, I just gotta go to bed. And we didn't score. I mean, we won the game. Yay. Very excited for that. But we didn't score until 5 minutes left in a 20-minute period. So I'm like, I can't stay up that long. I think I had our granddaughter the next day, and that's an early AM wake-up call for me. So I was like, yeah, I gotta go to bed. All right, just finishing up the lashes. So our series, we're with Colorado. We're playing Colorado. And our series is tied 2-2 after Saturday night's of a game where we just handed them the game. I think we lost 4-0. No fun. I am loving that eye. That is so pretty. I don't know if it's coming off on camera like I see it in a mirror behind you. I really like that. All right, so our free product for a couple of days now, 3 items off my storefront, and you get this free lip stain. So I'm gonna show you this color. And what's great about a lip stain is it's long lasting, but it's also not matte, right? Like, so our 12-hour splash lipsticks that I wear often are more of a matte finish, and this isn't going to be that. So this is in the shade Friendly. Wow, that is pretty. We're just gonna let that kind of melt in, and then that should stay for a while. I like that color. I don't wear that much often either. All these products, right? I just get stuck in my rut. I use the same things all the time, but I like them. All right. It's good for me to venture out. It's good for me to try to curl my hair, which I haven't curled in forever, right? Okay, this is my look for today. I'm very excited about these stick shadows. I'm very excited about my powder foundation, and I'm very excited about this lip stain. So if I can help you with anything, just let me know. Thanks for watching. Until next time, which will be tomorrow. See you then.